All right. Welcome to my first official podcast, Adulting for Dumb People. If you're like me, maybe you are maybe fed up with what's going on in the world today. Maybe COVID's got you a little bit more awake than you would like to be. And after yesterday's shenanigans, I'm sure you're a little bit pissed off. You're not alone, you know. If you've sat back over the last few years and you've watched these conspiracies come true, Alex Jones is 25-1 over the last few years. Yeah, he did lose one. He did. But you really got to watch that case, because this isn't about Alex Jones. It's about you and I. It's about telling the truth, and they're trying to silence everybody. So anyway, welcome to our first podcast, Adulting for Dumb People. My name is Tony. I am going to be talking about some events that have happened, that have transpired over the last few years, that maybe have you second-guessing reality like I do. And probably the biggest story we're going to talk about today is what transpired last night with Trump and the FBI. Remember, the FBI, the most trusted FBI, who also, pushed the Russian collusion hoax, spied on law-abiding citizens. They claimed that moms that went to school meetings were terrorists, lied to the FISA court to wiretap Trump, ignored Hillary's server escapades, ignored the Biden crime family, persecuted journalists, Project Veritas. Remember, they raided Project Veritas, James O'Keefe's home, over Ashley Biden's diary. This is what the FBI does. They treated the January 6th people as terrorists. I mean, they're locked up in inhumane conditions, and it's crazy what's happening to them. So, you have to ask yourself, what's going on? What's going on in the world today? So last night, Trump's Mar-a-Lago was raided, and you always have to watch what's going on. So they went after apparently some classified documents that, believe it or not, these documents, from what I understand, were mailed from the GSA office. They were boxed up and mailed to Mar-a-Lago. These were declassified documents that Trump had declassified. Well, Biden's administration didn't properly label those as declassified, and now they send the FBI to Mar-a-Lago to raid them and break into his safe. So when you really start to see what's going on here, you have to understand that Trump's not under attack. I mean, if they're going to do this to an ex-president, set this up, and you can see through it how thin it is, imagine what they do to you and I. Here's Giuliani talking about another part of Trump. Remember, there's always smoke screens. They're gonna paint Trump out to be the criminal here because of things that are coming to light. But here's Giuliani.
That a member of the parliament in Ukraine held a press conference today, and name was Andrei Derkach. You won't hear this on the news, ladies and gentlemen, because they censor it. You only get the news that Dems want you to hear. Mm-hmm. Derkach publicized documents which he said describe the mechanism for getting money by Biden Sr. This was a transfer of funds for lobbying activities, as investigators believe, to Joe Biden through a lobbying company. Funds in the amount of $900,000 were transferred to the U.S.-based company Rosemont Center. Sources is affiliated with Biden. The payment reference was for consultative services. And then it goes on to describe another $16.5 million payment, apparently laundered payment, involving both Devon Archer and Hunter, using political and economical levers of power, influencing Ukrainian authorities, and manipulating the issue of providing financial aid. Joe Biden actively assisted closing criminal cases. This is by a parliament member in the Ukraine, a very senior one, saying that Joe Biden actively assisted closing criminal cases into the activity of former Ukrainian ecology minister Mykola Zlochevsky, who's the founder and owner of Burisma Group. Let me tell you who Mykola Zlochevsky is. He's a major oligarch. He stole $5 billion from his people. He very suspiciously was allowed to come back. His case got dismissed when they dismissed Hunter Biden's case. He's the guy who paid the $16.5 million and the $900,000 to the Bidens, or through the, well, it wasn't 16.5, it was more like 8 million to the Biden group. This guy's one of the major criminals in the Ukraine, and he's now walking around free because Joe Biden got the case dismissed.
You hear this, right? And so what we've seen is we've seen Roger Stone, his house raided, and CNN was there, just so happened to be there during the raid to catch it live. We've seen now James O'Keefe, journalist, his home was raided. We've seen them lie about the Hunter Biden laptop. He's never been raided. We've seen the Clintons destroy Blackberries and laptops with hammers after a subpoena was requested for those. We've seen videos of Hunter Biden doing drugs with hookers, with firearms, and we don't see any of them getting raided. We've seen countless of Trump associates that have been raided by the FBI. And like I said, this FBI isn't one that can be trusted. Look at their track record, and even we just spoke about the Hunter's laptop. 50 of intelligence officials signed on that it was Russian disinformation. Over 50. Where are these people now? Now that we know it's true. We knew it was true back then. I mean, look at what we're losing now. I mean, we used to be energy independent. Now we're paying $4 a gallon for gas, and we have to be happy because he brought it down by 50 cents. Do you see what they do here? We're giving away hundreds of billions of dollars to other countries, namely Ukraine, the most corrupt country in the world. And it's not just corrupt now. It was called the most corrupt country in the world back in 2012, leading up to 2016. And now all of a sudden they're getting $100 billion so far? This is crazy. And we know now that they lied. We know now that there were bioweapons labs, over 40 of them, that Hunter Biden had a part in the companies that funded these. He was a part of those companies, so we know that. Right now you just have to say, what's going on here? So if you're like me, you're fed up with this and you want answers. Maybe you went down a rabbit hole and found out a little bit too much than what you were looking to find out. We have all these Republicans have been raided. Number of times that Joe Biden's house has been raided, 0. Number of times Hunter Biden's house has been raided, 0. Number of times the Clintons' houses have been raided, 0. Number of times Obama's houses have been raided, 0. Number of times James Comey or any of the FBI that were caught lying on the stand, and any that their homes have been raided, 0. What about any of the journalists that leaked information that was leaked to benefit the Democrats, like the New York Times? What about them? No, none of their homes were raided. It's funny how it always happens to one side. So at some point you got to wake up and find out that there's a master plan. You have some evil people in the world that are planning the world out, and they think of us as just chattel. We're just here. We're just here to do whatever they want. They need to depopulate us, and that's one of the biggest myths out there, is that we're overpopulated. We're not populated enough. Have kids. Teach them faith. Teach them morals. Have kids. We're not overpopulated. We're coming up on a time we're not going to be populated enough. We're about to experience famines and whatnot because of what they're doing with our food supplies. Which is funny. Bill Gates owns 242,000 acres of farmland, and now all of a sudden we have shortages coming down the pipeline. He created viruses for computers and then sold us the antiviruses. He's an opportunist. We have a baby formula shortage, and it's just a coincidence that he invests millions in a company called Biomilk. Things that make you go, right? There's some evil people out there, all right? This guy created computer viruses to sell us the antivirus, and now we have a created human virus that this same guy is selling us the vaccine for, which it's not a vaccine, it's gene therapy. It does not fit any definition of a vaccine, and now we know how bad it is for you. Anyway, we're going to talk about that another day, and I think you'll be interested in the information we have about that. So we have some crazy times coming up. I just want to let everyone know that be prepared. They're pushing this war. They're pushing these food shortages. They're pushing eating insects. They're pushing all this on us. They're trying to normalize it. So we need to be prepared. We need to make sure that we're paying attention. Don't follow the news stories, okay? If there's a big major story like Trump being, his house being raided, odds are there's a small story out there that you need to look for. All right? That's how they do things, smoke and mirrors. Anyway, so we have some crazy people that are running the world, and some homework for you guys to look in for. Next time, I want you guys to look into Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum, Soros the Nazi, and he is a Nazi. Look at his 60-minute video interview. He admits he went around with them while they were picking up Nazis. He said he was a little boy and didn't have a choice. He's a liar. He's a straight Nazi. And now you have Klaus Schwab, and their big thing with the World Economic Forum is you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. This is insane. This is insane. Anyway, come down this rabbit hole with me. Thanks for joining me on my first podcast. My name is Tony. This is Adulting for Dumb People. I am a realtor and a lender here in Florida. So if you ever want to come down here to the free state of Florida, just remember, Governor DeSantis is the man. He's keeping us safe down here. He's keeping us free down here. He's keeping us business owners open and running down here. So if you want to come down here, just know that, hey, we're doing really good down here, and we'd love to have you here. We'd really love to have you here, and we'd love to have you enjoy our freedom here down in Florida. All right, well, you guys have a great day. It was great talking to everybody today. Thanks for joining me on Adulting for Dumb People. And we'll bring us out with a little bit more Thunderstruck, a little AC/DC.